just want to kind of go through here quickly how this whole Triple H thing and Brock Lesnar kind of evolved over time. I mean, you know, back in May, early May, after Extreme Rules, of course, Brock Lesnar had some contract, issues that there were things that weren't fulfilled in his contract that Triple H, said it's not going to get fulfilled. So I mean, that led to, an enraged Brock Lesnar that beat Triple H down, broke his arm, the Kimura lock, and that brought us, that put Triple H, broke his arm for, a little while. Of course, Paul Heyman came out and made his, a surprise return in place of Brock Lesnar one night, and, he said how Brock Lesnar quit the WWE. Of course, a little later on down the road, Triple H at No Way Out, this would be mid-June now. Now, they're saying how Triple H is, where's Triple H going to go with this? There were lawsuits filed against Triple H, apparently, from Paul Heyman, and Brock Lesnar, because at one point, Triple H put his hands on Paul Heyman. So, there were a couple apparent lawsuits that were filed, and I remember like Michael Cole saying how, Triple H is going to figure out, where to go from here with this whole thing, and it's No Way Out, as I was saying, he mentioned, he challenges Lesnar to fight instead, and tries to get him to put lawsuits aside and whatnot, and just fight. Tried to kind of push Paul Heyman out of the picture too, in the same regards, and eventually, a few weeks later, it appeared that there was some false advertisement for Lesnar to be on TV. This was, I think, early July, but instead it was just Paul Heyman via satellite responding, and Triple, he asserted that no, Brock Lesnar quit. He's not going to get, Triple H isn't going to get a match against him at SummerSlam. So eventually, at Raw 1000, as a lot of us call it, for the first time in a while now, Brock Lesnar was, going to be live on Raw. And what happened, earlier in the night, Triple H did his DX thing, but then, later on in the show, he kind of got back to business, and, he once again, he challenged Brock Lesnar to a fight, and Paul Heyman came out without Brock Lesnar once again, and Paul Heyman said no. At this point, it was becoming clear that, for some odd reason, they kind of just let the whole lawsuit aspect of the storyline evaporate, which is a big criticism that I've had with this build-up to this SummerSlam match. The clear criticism I've had. I was wondering, what happened to the main catalyst for this feud in the first place. Suddenly at this Raw 1000, of course, there's that comment that Paul Heyman made. Name calling. You're going to resort to name calling. Is that what you teach your children? He called Triple H out on name calling. And just said, like anyone could say, is that what you teach your children or something? And of course, this set Triple H off. Don't talk about my family, and that that's not really insulting. It's not like he was talking about his family and insulting his kids. It was just like one of those, rhetorical questions. Is that what you teach your family? And Stephanie McMahon came out, and to me that only made that segment worse. And kind of just rehashed things that were said. And then Brock Lesnar came out, thankfully, and had a little brawl with Triple H, which was designed for Triple H to get the better end of. I was not surprised by this because, it's Raw 1000, Triple H, the next guy, the guy who's said to, take, the whole operation over when Vince McMahon is gone. They're not, I'm pretty sure they weren't going to have him, be on the more of the receiving end of a beat down, and I think the idea was to have him look strong on Raw 1000. They weren't going to have the COO Triple H get beat down to oblivion on Raw 1000. So I think that was the idea behind that. And they still, they still kind of, even though Lesnar was knocked out of the ring, they still, in their own way, kind of made him look strong. Still made him look, animalistic, and so, he walked away smiling. So it wasn't entirely bad for either man. It was, just a little brawl, kind of get Brock Lesnar back in action in a sense, to build up this match for SummerSlam. And a couple weeks later, of course, would have been last week's Raw. Brock Lesnar said how, Shawn Michaels was live on Raw, and he was interrupted by Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman, did his usual talking on the mic, but the crucial part was when Brock Lesnar kind of took the mic from Paul Heyman, and at the end he said to carry it over to what was this week's Raw. He said he'll see Triple H at SummerSlam, and then referred to Shawn Michaels and said that he'd see him before then. And that brings us to what happened this past Monday on Raw, which to me was definitely a good, good half hour, 35-minute way to close Raw. That 3-hour Raw, I should say. It was strong. It was, an interesting promo. This time having Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out first, which is a bit different. Usually, we're used to seeing, Triple H or Shawn Michaels, come out first and call out Lesnar and Heyman or whatever. But this made it a little different. Paul Heyman, he kind of, built up, made Brock Lesnar look good with, his words. It was a pretty good promo, I thought, for this contract signing. Again, just help Brock Lesnar. And of course, Shawn Michaels and Triple H came out. Triple H signed the contract, and Brock Lesnar signed his end of the contract, and threw it in Triple H's face. Left the ring, and of course, later on, what happened was, of course, the bigger bigger issue at hand. But anyway, throughout the night, Shawn Michaels was involved in different, backstage segments. Triple H was apparently, he was like late for a flight, so that eventually led to Shawn Michaels coming out alone in that segment, and then Triple H coming out, right afterwards, which kind of kept, Shawn Michaels had Shawn Michaels back before Lesnar could, do anything, I guess, or, he didn't just rip him apart right away or anything, and Triple H came out, right away, so I had his back. But later in the night is where it got interesting. Again, Shawn Michaels was backstage talking to Triple H, and Shawn Michaels walked off then, headed to his car. And then Big Show was being interviewed, not far, right down the hall from the parking lot. And then in the middle of the interview, we hear some background, we hear some tires screeching kind of thing, a little bit of yelling, and that's where Matt Stryker said, kind of paused, kind of stopped the interview, and they got cameras on what the ruckus was, and it was Paul Heyman, cutting off Shawn Michaels, in his tracks, before Shawn Michaels could leave the arena in his car, and Shawn Michaels was ticked off. But he knows what he's, knows what Paul's trying to do and all, and Paul Heyman's like, I'm sorry, and kind of trying to look, innocent, even though it was like he was joking around. And then this is where out of nowhere, Brock Lesnar, Shawn Michaels is like looking out his car window, out the side window, yelling at Paul Heyman. This is where Brock Lesnar yanks Shawn Michaels out of the car. Lesnar's back, runs it, bumps into the camera, and knocks out the camera. We go to a black screen, and we hear what sounds brutal. That's the best way to put it. We hear get some good work from Lesnar and Shawn Michaels here. It sounds like, to people who don't know that, Shawn Michaels isn't going to take these kind of bumps, which they found a good, by having the camera go out that way, the way it was planned out and executed, it was a good way to make it seem like Shawn Michaels is receiving a brutal punishment. Good way to make it seem like he is, without him having to take, these extreme bumps. Because we hear him screaming, we hear Lesnar yelling at him, and we hear what sounds like, him getting bashed over a windshield, thrown around. It sounds kind of sad, to people who don't know, that it's really not, that Shawn Michaels isn't really getting beaten to oblivion. We hear, but it sounds, surreal. And when they come back from commercial, they show, the windshield of the cars, so it appeared as if Shawn Michaels had just gotten destroyed, and it sounded like it. The way they had the camera go out was a good way to kind of cover it up, to make it seem like Shawn Michaels got the crap beat out of him, without him having to take, these big bumps, as I said. So at this point, there's, superstars surrounding kind of more lower tier superstars surrounding the car, the scene here. Paul Heyman had disappeared at this point, and Brock Lesnar and Shawn Michaels were nowhere to be found at this point. Triple H comes running in, wondering what's happening, and talks to AJ, asks AJ, and AJ says that HBK was dragged away by Brock Lesnar, and Triple H gets, he's mad. He goes looking for Shawn Michaels, and then this is where, they focus on Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole, talk about what's going on here, and then Shawn Michaels is getting carried out by Brock Lesnar with the ring on his shoulders, puts him in the ring, jumps up to the ring, no one's coming out yet, and Brock Lesnar nails a devastating F5 on Shawn Michaels, and then he puts him in the Kimura lock. Paul Heyman comes out, and Triple H comes running out, and now it's like a hostage situation here. Triple H is about to come into the ring, but Paul Heyman, orders Triple H to stay back, or else Brock Lesnar is gonna break his arm, Shawn Michaels' arm. He's gonna wrench it real good. So, this is where it gets tough for Triple H. He wants to come in the ring and save his partner, but then Brock Lesnar's gonna wrench his arm. So he's really, in a pickle here, and eventually Brock Lesnar just breaks his arm anyways. He just breaks his arm anyways, and then at this point, Triple H goes running into the ring, immediately to Shawn Michaels, and Brock Lesnar goes running out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's going, "Oh my God, you broke his arm!" It was an interesting scene. Couldn't help but feel a little bad for Shawn Michaels, but this night was designed to really bring more heat to Brock Lesnar, and that's what it did. And it was successful, I think. Triple H is that, medics come out, and apparently Shawn Michaels' arm is broken. Shawn Michaels kind of, pushes, wants Triple H back a little bit, which is interesting. People, because people are speculating now, like, is he going to turn on Triple H or something? Real interesting, I found. Brock Lesnar, then starts to leave, and then at one point it looked like he was going to come back out again, and then he just decides to leave anyway, then Triple H takes his shirt off, and he says, "Oh, we don't have to wait until SummerSlam," and whatnot. But yeah, it was a successful night of bringing more heat to Brock Lesnar, and it wasn't, it was good. It kind of helped things get back on track a little more, and made me a little more excited than I was for this match. You wonder what talk is going to surround HBK now. And basically what we have now is the match, finally, that we've been waiting for. As far as the overall build-up to it, which is, it's definitely crucial. It was average. It definitely made up some ground that it lost. It definitely made up some ground in this last Raw before SummerSlam. To me, they lost a lot of ground when they basically silently dropped the whole lawsuit, thing, factoring into this storyline, which to me was the driving force of it. And if they would have kept that along, it definitely would have made this match even more important than it is now. Bigger, certainly. But they at least, brought more heat to Lesnar before this match, and definitely made it seem bigger than it had in recent weeks. When it became personal and about family, which it really didn't to me. But nevertheless, here we are. We're going to, see what should be a good match. Hopefully, it's not all just Brock Lesnar one-sided. We want a decent match too. Decent fight. It doesn't, not necessarily from a technical perspective, but just a good fight, good match. Two, powerhouses. Brock Lesnar, his own unique style. And we'll see where it goes from here. Theory states, it should be a Brock Lesnar win here. You never know, but Brock Lesnar should be the guy that comes out on top here. And that's the way I see it. And it could set up for, Triple H taking more time off. We're just being away out of the spotlight again. Like he'll be around consistently, like around WrestleMania time, which makes sense. And then he'll have his time off, which works out. So I would think that this would be, it just makes sense for Brock Lesnar to win this match. So results aren't always everything, but to me, it's kind of crucial here for Lesnar to win, in my opinion. And I guess we'll wait and see, what goes down between these two at SummerSlam, how the match goes, and see how the outcome, what effect the outcome will have going in the future here. Alright, that'll wrap things up for TW Wrestling Talk, this edition of TW Wrestling Talk. Thanks for watching, and, please stay tuned, and please subscribe and help spread the word around with this this YouTube channel. And if you have any questions you'd like me to discuss, any topics, please send them in. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Alright, take it easy, and stay tuned for the next edition of TW Wrestling Talk.